Hello, I'm Andy and welcome to Vectra News, your fill of gaming news for the week of the 25th of July 2015. Coming up in this week's episode, John Smedley steps down as the CEO from Daybreak Games, the ESL will start to enforce its guidelines and rules around performance enhancing drugs at ESL events, Ground Zeroes may have had hidden warnings that Kojima Productions and Konami were splitting, and to finish the news, we have two short pieces on the Rise of the Tomb Raider coming to the PS4 and PC in 2016, and Guillermo del Toro still intends to work with Kojima. Daybreak Games president and CEO John Smedley is stepping down from his position. In a statement from the company to GamesBeat, they said, "I can confirm that John Smedley will be taking some time off from the company for the near term and transitioning to a different role to be determined. Upon finalisation of his plans, further communications will be provided." The reasons for his departure haven't been stated, but it's hard not to link it with Smedley's recent outburst on Twitter after Julius Kivimaki, a member of Lizard Squad, who had called a bomb threat on Smedley's plane, was convicted of 50,700 charges related to cybercrime, for which Kivimaki received a 2-year suspended jail sentence. Smedley tweeted, "That was the piece of garbage that brought my plane down, leaked my information and did all kinds of other crap to me. So stay tuned because at What Security, here's his Twitter address, is a psychopath and will get what's coming to him." He then went on to say that Kivimaki had been in jail previously before saying his parents needed to be held accountable for his actions in addition to him going to jail, followed by, "I'm coming for you, Julius." But it seems that in response to this public threat, Daybreak Games has started experiencing server issues, taking down some of their games including PlanetSide 2, H1Z1, something that Lizard Squad seems to take responsibility for. According to VentureBeat, the current Chief Operating Officer Russell Shanks will take over as CEO. The eSports League, or ESL, has announced this week that it will start to enforce guidelines and rules around the taking of performance-enhancing drugs at ESL events. This move comes soon after a member of the Counter-Strike Go team, Cloud9, admitted that he and his teammates had been using the drug Adderall, a drug used to treat ADHD, during a tournament back in March of this year. An article on the ESL site says that they have partnered with the National Anti-Doping Agency to create an anti-performance enhancing drug policy that is fair, feasible and conclusive, while also respecting the privacy of players. Along with this, they will be meeting with the World Anti-Doping Agency so they can be actively involved in the making, enforcing and dissemination of this policy to additional regions such as the USA, Asia and Australia. When looking through the rulebook of the ESL 1 competition from last year, playing under the influence of either drugs or alcohol was actually prohibited on both online and offline games, which until now hasn't actually been enforced. Some of the other leagues have rulings against drugs, although hardly any are enforced either. The International Esports Federation is also currently signed with the World Anti-Doping Agency, which prohibits the use of performance-enhancing drugs in members' tournaments. The question is, how could the new drugs policy be enforced fully? It would be fairly easy for offline games where everyone is in the same place for a tournament and the team could just be asked to give a drug sample there and then. But online games would be virtually impossible to police, short of sending someone round to where the competitors are playing or getting them to post a sample of. However, this latter option would almost be pointless, as someone could just ask, "Hey mate, can I borrow your urine for a sample?" It looks like the first performance-enhancing drug skin test will be taking part in the ESL 1 competition in Cologne next month, with the ESL having a view to expand this to every Intel Extreme Masters, ESL 1 and ESL ESPA Pro League event. The ESL said that they will update their rulings when the performance-enhancing drugs policy is established. Hideo Kojima may have hidden signs that Konami and his studio were going to split. The user TimeSplitter88 uploaded footage of a bonus quest from the Deja Vu mission in Ground Zeroes. In this, Snake has to find old logos from old games in the Metal Gear franchise. When you shine the light over games made by Kojima, they fade out of existence, whereas those not made by him, like Metal Gear Touch, result in a reaction from Cass saying, "That's nothing special." In the mission you can also find a version of the Kojima Productions oval with the Fox logo missing, which is said to have been some foreshadowing that Kojima Productions logo was going to be removed from the Phantom Pain's box. Finally, when you erase the logo on the escape helicopter, Cass says, "You might be able to erase the marking, but the memories will never disappear." This is the second game that Kojima is said to contain messages hinting at troubles between Kojima Productions and Konami, the other being a playable teaser which was removed from the PlayStation Store not so long ago. It makes me wonder if he's actually hidden any other messages in any of his other games. If they do come up, we'll let you know. And two shorter bits of news to round off the news this week. When the Rise of the Tomb Raider was announced as an Xbox One exclusive in June 2004, many believed that it would just be a timed event, and this week this has been confirmed. The game will be coming out on PC at the start of 2016 and then PlayStation 4 at the end of 2016 in the holiday period. Also, it looks like Guillermo del Toro still intends to work with Kojima on a project after an interview with IGN. He said, "I love working with Kojima-san, we are still in touch, we are still friends and working into something together. But that's not going to be Silent Hills." Hopefully whatever project they do decide to start up is going to be awesome and on the same level as Silent Hills was going to be, although we'll never know exactly what that would have been, and I'm just assuming this will be when Kojima actually finds a new studio to work for. But that's all from Vectra News this week. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, follow us on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date with everything on the network. And as always, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.